I earned $100,000 selling online courses in the past 9 months. Now, if you're new here, my name is Julia and I am a mindset and manifestation expert. And what I once thought was just creating free content online actually turned into a profitable online business. And I'm going to teach you today how I did it and how you can do it too. So I do also have other streams of income, such as sponsorships when a brand pays me to promote their brand either in a sponsored post or a sponsored video on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube. And I have another stream of income such as affiliate marketing. So when people buy my products with my links, for example, that is another stream of income. And I used to do a little bit of social media consulting, but I no longer offer that as I'm super focused on selling online courses and building my brand as a content creator. So whether you're interested in being a content creator or an online business owner, this video is for you because I'm actually going to share with you exactly how I did it, some mistakes that I made that you can avoid, and some lessons I learned that you don't have to learn because I'm going to tell you and share them with you in this video. And the last thing is really how you can get started today. And something I'm really big on is I'm not going to give you any specific strategies and say, hey, this is the exact strategy I use to hit 6 figures selling online courses. But what I am going to teach you is how to find what works for you and your business. What I want you to take away from this video is some things that you like, some things that you want to try, and leave what you don't. And that's really one of the major key points of this whole video, is that you don't have to do everything exactly like someone else. And I got myself into a lot of trouble trying to do that in regards to losing money, wasting energy, feeling depressed and unhappy, and maybe like I'm not good enough or something of that sort. So I really want to make that abundantly clear in the beginning of this video. Take what you like, leave what you don't. And the purpose of this video is really to inspire you and to show you how you can do it too. I'm going to share exactly how you can get started today. So thank you so much for being here. Like I said, if you're new here, I'm Julia. Please remember to hit that subscribe button and you can get more weekly videos totally for free here on YouTube on Wednesdays. So before we even get into the video, I want to share a little bit more about the number 100,000. So that means people bought my online courses and that equated to $100,000. Now I obviously have expenses, some money goes to taxes, and if you're interested in a full breakdown on that, let me know in the comments below and I could do another video breaking that all down. So even before we get into any of the really good juicy stuff, I want to share with you some proof. So as you can see here in these screenshots, I've earned about $94,000 in cash collected. So what that means is when someone buys your product, sometimes they go on a payment plan or they're on a subscription. So I've earned $94,000 in cash collected. That means money in my bank account before taxes, expenses, things like that. And I have about $6,000 coming in over time, like I said, on payment plans and subscriptions. So this is something that I learned when people were flashing these big fancy numbers on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, that there's actually a lot that goes in behind the scenes, like operating expenses, like things it takes to grow my business. Like my email provider, it's about $300 a month. And at one point it was $500 a month. So things like that where people don't share. So that's not totally $100,000 in my pocket. And I want to make that very clear. So before we fully jump into the process, the how, the mistakes, all that great stuff, make sure you download your free copy of my newest ebook where I teach you 6 steps to go to 6 figures in your online business using manifestation. Okay, so you're probably wondering how this all started. And surprisingly, I actually was in $25,000 worth of student debt before I even started showing up online. I was working my corporate job. I was a financial advisor on Wall Street, and I was making about $300 a week when I first started out. Now, I knew that making $300 a week and living in my childhood bedroom with $25,000 in debt, that wasn't going to add up. So I started selling my clothes on Poshmark. And what I did, it was actually during the pandemic. And I said, well, I have all this free time now that I'm not commuting into work to New York City. I was living at my mom's house in Long Island, and it was about an hour and a half commute each way. So 3 hours a day of commuting, working an 8-hour workday. It was nearly going to be impossible for me to do that. So honestly, COVID was a blessing in disguise for me and my career and my business, because this is really where it all started. I started selling my clothes on Poshmark. I was growing this Instagram page called Shop by Julia. I still have it up. So if you're a Poshmark reseller or any type of thrifting reseller, go take a look. I have amazing tips on there to really grow your account, get sales, things like that. So I've always been an entrepreneur at heart. Now, once I used Poshmark as a resource and really as a vehicle to pay off my debt, I then challenged myself and I said, well, if I can do this, imagine what I could do in 6 months to a year. Now that I'm debt free, I can actually start thinking about what I want to do with my life, what I want to do with my business. I was single at the time. I was focusing on relationships, what I can do to improve my health. Like, I just kind of was on this like high, this natural high that if I could just pay off $25,000 of debt in 6 months and using no money from my work, solely just side hustling and really just listening to my intuition and trusting on something so much greater than me, I really challenged myself to say like, what can I do next? Next up, I started trying everything. So I bought every single course under the sun. I was doing e-commerce, social media marketing, and so many different things to really explore my passion. So what I loved about this was that I really got a chance to try everything to see what I liked and what I didn't like. Then I kind of knew intuitively that I always wanted to be a content creator, or what I used to say back then, I still say it sometimes now, an influencer, but I wanted so much more than that. So I started creating content around topics that I liked, like money, manifestation, mindset, lifestyle, New York, when I would go travel content, things like that. And I started to see what stuck, and the mindset and manifestation just took off. So I kind of just ran with it and I said, let me see where this takes me. And it really fulfilled me. As I was doing that, I started to realize that I had something really amazing and something that was powerful and something that needed to be shared with the world. The first hint of anything like coaching, courses, anything like that, somebody literally DM'd me and said, hi, like I would love to book a coaching call with you. Like, do you offer coaching? And I was like, well, I guess you could say that. And it got me thinking, well, people do come to me for advice. My friends used to literally tell me like, you should be a therapist, things like that. I kind of started thinking like, maybe I could do something with this. So like I said, I continued to post my free content. I got on some consultation calls and I said, hey, like, what are you interested in? Like, what are you looking for? And I was starting to really do some work, very low ticket. Like I would maybe charge like $50 for an hour, just as I was starting out. And I told people like, hey, I'm just starting out here, but I would love to do this. Like, people are seeing results in my free content, which is where I was like, okay, like maybe I could make something out of this. So I started working with people and talking to people and literally just putting myself out there and being so transparent about my story, where I was at. And I think that a lot of people have limiting beliefs around coaching or selling online courses and saying like, I'm not qualified. And I always say like, you are your best testimonial from me and my experiences of my past, like becoming debt free, manifesting my soulmate, building a business online of content creation, which it was at the beginning, and growing followers. Like, those are things that I was speaking on because I had direct experience in it. And over time, I started speaking more and more from experience, and experiences continued to happen. It really just started blowing up from there. I randomly kept getting these DMs where people were literally coming to me like, hi, do you offer manifestation coaching? As you can see in this screenshot here, I was just blown away because I had taken on a client or two, and then clients were just finding me and they didn't know each other. They were from other parts of the world. So it was really just unfolding for me, and I kept listening to my intuition. I said, this is really aligned. Then after a few months of doing that, my TikTok, my Instagram just kept blowing up because I was then taking my experiences from working with people to create content and to get to know my style and to get to know what people really need help with. And my content just continued to explode. And I said, okay, like if I don't keep offering this content, if I don't keep offering this coaching and this service, then I am almost doing a disservice to other people because this is actually helping people. But then it got to a point where I literally couldn't handle the one-on-one coaching. I was still working my full-time job and I was doing influencer partnerships. I was doing affiliate marketing. I was doing e-commerce. I was doing all these things and I literally broke down. And I said, I think it's time for me to quit my job. And the day that I actually planned to quit my job, I was just going to email them that day to set up a call. And that morning they called me with an opportunity that I was going to decline anyways because it wasn't in alignment with where I wanted to be and my growth. It was like the same pay. It made no sense. So it actually worked out perfectly. And I looked at that as my opportunity to leave that job and to start growing my business. And I knew that I always wanted to build up my manifestation business. I wanted to really build online courses because they really allow for freedom, flexibility, and for you to help more people on a larger scale. So I think in the beginning, I had a lot of limiting beliefs around online courses because obviously you see things online and you're like, oh, like this person's a scammer, this person's this. And I kind of had these fears of maybe I shouldn't start, maybe nobody will buy my course, like all these limiting beliefs. And I said, you know what? If I quit my job, now I have to provide for myself. I have to create some sort of consistent income for myself. So I built my first online course in 1 month and I launched it. And you can actually still get access to it. It's called the Mindset and Manifestation Masterclass. And it's now actually my mini course to actually my more signature offer, which I'll talk about in the end. So I started selling the Mindset and Manifestation Masterclass and it was doing well. It probably made about $10,000 like the first few months of selling it. So in my opinion, that's really great and really amazing. Then I decided to invest in a business coach where I learned a little bit more about strategy and about marketing because I do think that stuff is important. You have to really be in alignment with who you are, your messaging, your targeting. So I thought, okay, well, if I can apply the practices that I'm already applying, like using visualization, saying positive affirmations, rewiring my subconscious through meditation, through silence, and really getting over my own limiting beliefs, and then I actually tie on some strategy with that too, it's going to be a recipe for success. I started doing that, but basically it totally flopped. The first time I tried to do a live training, it was a complete fail. I actually had 3,000 people signed up for my live training and my Facebook account got shut down, which is where I was hosting it. And then I had a trip to Italy booked just a few days later because I thought it would be smooth sailing from there. Little did I know it was not smooth sailing. It was really rough waters. I went into like this almost massive depression and I was just so upset. I couldn't even get out of bed. And like I said, I really have to make this into a whole other video because there was such a light at the end of the tunnel of that live training. And now I completely understand why that happened. So leave me a comment below. Let me know if you'd like to see a video on that. Essentially, what I did was I took a step back and then I decided to do the launch when I got back from Italy. It was a success. And then finally in November, I did the final launch of that course and it was a massive success. I earned about $15,000 in revenue from selling that course. It's still a really great course, but now, like I said, it's more of my mini course and I knew I was ready for the next level. So in December, I decided to really switch up my business model. So I decided to create a brand new course and that actually became a hybrid coaching program, which I will share more about with you. That course is called Manifest Your Dream Life and enrollment is currently closed. Although I'm opening up enrollment again very soon, so make sure you click the link below and join the waitlist. Now that course is a high ticket program. So what I did was I actually made a shift from low ticket to high ticket. And the reason is because it's a lot easier to sell a high ticket program to a few people rather than a low ticket program to a lot of people. And when I first started out on social media, I thought that since I had so many followers and since I had so much volume that everyone was going to buy my course, and that just wasn't the case. So what I've learned is taking my experience starting with low ticket, seeing what worked, seeing people's results, seeing what people wanted to then create this beast of a program, beast of a course called Manifest Your Dream Life. And we've seen massive success with that course. The best way that I can explain this to you is that most of this revenue came from my signature high ticket program. So when I first started out, I knew it felt right. I knew that what I was offering was really valuable. So in Manifest Your Dream Life, you actually get twice a week live Q&A coaching calls with me. I hop on the Zoom calls and talk to my students directly twice a week. And these are completely optional, but in the courses that I've joined, when there's live Q&A sessions, I was more inclined to buy it because I knew that if something came up for me during the time that I was taking the course, I could go to somebody for help. And I think that a lot of courses are lacking that. And I knew that that was going to be a big commitment from me. So that is also why I transitioned into high ticket as well, because I wanted to be there for my students. I wanted to help, but I knew that takes a lot from me, not just in regards to my time, but in regards to my energy. And like I said, these calls are completely optional. People have access and my students have access to the course for life. So really adding more value helped me increase the price and helped me serve people better. Now, like I said, if this is all exciting you and you want to get started today on your manifestation journey, what all my students invested in, get started with the mini course, the Mindset and Manifestation Masterclass. You can click the link in the description to get direct access to that course and enroll today. day. Then when Manifest Your Dream Life opens up again, you'll be ready. You'll have a solid foundation to really take it to the next level. Another thing with Manifest Your Dream Life is it is a little bit more advanced. It's for people who are more acquainted with spirituality and manifestation, and they're looking to grow their business. They're looking to hit 5 to 10K months. They're looking for new career opportunities. They're looking to really up-level their life because they've already seen success before. So now that I shared with you really all about the success, my come-up story, how I created this course, how I really am planning to do this course moving forward, like I said, my signature offer, Manifest Your Dream Life, I want to go into some of the mistakes that I made. So some mistakes I made was trying to imitate people's exact business models, and not in a way where I was copying them, but where I was buying courses to learn how to build a course or to learn how to do things like business strategy or working with coaches or agencies or things like that. And I was trying to do what was working for other people and it wasn't working for me. So what actually worked for me is when I ditched the sales scripts, when I ditched what everyone else was saying, and I leaned into me and my intuition, how I can help people and bring value. So I got in a little bit of a rut when there were obviously lulls and I wasn't seeing sales, and I was like, what's going on? And it was because I was out of alignment with my power and who I am as a business owner, my mission of the business, my purpose of the business. And that's exactly what you'll get in the free download. And what I talk about a lot in my signature program, Manifest Your Dream Life, is that anyone can make money doing anything. Like, you can actually monetize any of your passions, any of your hobbies, literally anything. But the way that people are getting tripped up is that they're trying to do what's working for other people. And like I said, you have to take what works and leave what doesn't, and you learn through trial and error. So another big mistake that I made was I jumped into Facebook ads when I probably didn't need to. So like, I would say about 90% of my traffic comes organic. So I was listening to other people thinking the next step in my business was to run ads, and that was going to be my massive success and I was going to go to 6 figures. This was obviously before I hit 6 figures, and it wasn't. I actually ended up losing out about $10,000 on ads. So I actually got an email the other day from Ramit Sethi, one of my favorite people. You should look him up after this video. And it really resonated with me because this was a giant mistake that I made too, an expensive mistake. So here's what the email said. I got impatient with our subscriber growth. We were growing steadily, but I want to go faster. I got jealous of all the numbers I saw being thrown around, like people getting 10,000 new subscribers a week, spending $1 and making $2, making a 3K profit every day, and so on. I worried I was missing out on the next big thing. So I decided I had to find out how they were doing it. This is where 1, being jealous, and 2, having the money to execute becomes a dangerous combination. Now, the title of this email was how he lost out on $1 million, but I lost out on about 10,000, maybe a little bit less than that. But it really hit home for me because I was like, wow, I think about how hard I had to work to make $10,000, which was almost half of my student debt back in 2020. And now I was able to lose that money, and nothing you really lose is a loss. So I am happy to an extent that I did try those ads and I tried it out, because I think, like I said, that urge in me of seeing people online running ads and being successful and doubling and tripling their growth. But while I was running the ads, all my sales were coming organic because I kept doing what was working before. So what I've learned is don't fix what's not broken. What's working for you, keep doing that. The results don't lie. So for me, live trainings and having the course open and sharing with people and being transparent, being like, this is when it's opening, this is when it's closing, things like that really worked for me because I was intuitively speaking, and I was speaking from a place of the way that I like to buy. I like to know when something's available. I like to know when's the last day to buy it, things like that. I like added bonuses. I like doing this. So I just feel like I got myself into a little bit of trouble by not listening to my gut and by letting this shiny object syndrome stand in my way. So always go with what's working for you. And the last mistake that I made that you can avoid is that if somebody is coming to your page, if somebody's in your DMs, they want to be sold to. They want to buy your product. In the beginning, I thought, well, if everybody's just enjoying my free content, like who would want to buy my product? And that was such a limiting belief that I had, because this is how you think of it. And I learned this while watching a live training the other day. So free content is like reading the title of a book, right? You go to a bookstore, you maybe browse through it, you read the chapter titles, things like that. But even though you can go to the bookstore and get those little bits of knowledge for free, right? You can browse, well, then you buy the book because you actually want the full story. So the free content is like going to the bookstore and browsing and reading titles and maybe reading a few pages of the book, but to actually get the full experience and the full results, you buy the book. And you buy the book because you want the beginning to the end transformation. And the thing about free content is it's all jumbled, right? There's no actual process to it. It's not like you watch videos 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then you get a direct result. It's like you get these little results, these little highs, this little instant gratification, and it leaves you for wanting more. So what I say is always watch someone's free content, and then if you start seeing results, right, you get those little instant gratification highs, then you should probably invest in their course if you're ready to take it to the next level. The beauty of an online course is that you actually get the opportunity to save time and to save energy and to get an exact process, and that is when all of my limiting beliefs around selling online courses totally diminished, because I realized that I was selling people the opportunity to change their life. So now we're making our way to the end of this video, and thank you so much for being here. And what we are going to talk about now is how you can get started today. So like I said, the first step is really to download the free ebook. It really talks about being aligned in your business, how to think of a business idea, where to get started, all that great stuff. Step 2 is to start either doing things for free or to just start putting yourself out there. Maybe you have a certification, maybe you're qualified, something like that. Put your services out there. For a while, I wasn't putting my services out there, and I was wondering why people weren't buying my courses. Well, I wasn't talking about them, or I wasn't selling them, or I wasn't actively doing anything to let people know that the doors were open or it was available to buy. Literally just put yourself out there. So if you have a product or service now, put yourself out there, start talking about it. And in my signature program, Manifest Your Dream Life, I talk a lot about that. It's not that people don't want to buy your product, it's that you're probably not putting yourself out there because you have your own self-doubt and your own limiting beliefs. So if you could work through that, which is what the program teaches you, and you can actually work through that foundation of why you're not putting yourself out there, why you're not okay selling, then you can figure out the how-to later. You can figure out how to sell, marketing strategy, all that stuff, but you got to work through the limiting beliefs and the self-doubt first. Step 3 is that you have to be consistent. So start today, make a 30-day plan, a 60-day plan, invest in a course that's going to teach you something that you've been wanting to do, or go out there and just start. Like literally just start is like the best piece of advice, and stay consistent. Whether you're an online entrepreneur or you're a content creator, whatever you're looking to do, just start. So if you're a content creator, you were like me, you want to create a course, literally just post on your story right now and say, if I created a course, what would you want to learn? That's the first step in getting started. See what people say, see what people want, create a freebie, build an email list, things like that. And this is a little bit of a sneak peek, but when the course launches, Manifest Your Dream Life, and we open enrollment again, I am actually going to add a business bundle in there with the actual tactical and the actual strategy pieces of how I did it and how you can do it too, whether you're a content creator or you want to be a content creator or you just want to build an online course or build an online business. It doesn't even have to be a course. It can be coaching. It could be an online anything, but how to really monetize online through direct strategy. And like I said, what has worked for me that may also work for you. Thank you so much for sticking all the way through this video. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one.